Welcome back or to Velvet Pancake Media, and today pag-uusapan natin ang offerings ng Mitsubishi Philippines sa market natin ngayon. Alright, so I wanna thank first Andy, Fajardo for letting us take a video of whatever their offerings are in their Mitsubishi branch. So we're gonna display somewhere here on the screen their contact details or Andy's contact details para kung meron kayong katanungan or gusto nyo mag-avail ng kanilang mga sasakyan, or you could just call him up to be specific. Okay, wala nang paligoy-ligoy pa. Let's start with the Mitsubishi Mirage G4, the ultimate choice sa lahat ng taong nagsistart with their careers and with their life, okay? So yung mga Gen Z natin dyan na nasa workforce na ngayon, you might have been looking at this one kasi of course it's very reliable. It's Mitsubishi. Mitsubishi's been known to be very, very reliable and as a workhorse here in the Philippines. Okay, so the Mitsubishi Mirage is available at two body styles, the hatchback and the sedan, but what we're gonna show you today is yung sedan lang, okay? And all of these variants actually use the 1.2-liter 3-cylinder DOHC MIVEC gasoline engine with the engine code 3A92 na may power. Well, it has 76 to 78 horsepower and has 100 Newton meters of torque. May dalawang options para sa transmission. We have the 5-speed manual for the GLX MT variant and the CVT for the GLX CVT, GLS CVT, and the GLS Sport CVT. And gumagamit din siya ng INVEX 3 system, ideal sa fuel efficiency at sa city driving. Now, isa sa mga selling points ng 2025 Mirage ay yung pagkatipid nito sa gas. It has a 42-liter fuel tank at ayon sa actual na driving conditions sa Pilipinas, kayang umabot sa 25.64 kilometers per liter ang G4 manual sa highway. O parang big bike lang. Mas matipid pa sa big bike. Ang CVT variants naman ay nasa 21 kilometers per liter average, kaya isa ito sa pinaka-fuel efficient na kotse in its class. Okay, so komportable para sa 5 pasahero ang Mirage. So 5-seater talaga siya. But for me, honestly, it's more comfortable sa 4 lang. Ang G4 sedan ay mas malaki ng kaunti, kaya mas may space sa loob at sa trunk. Perfect para sa small families or for those who are just starting out. May 351 liters na trunk space ang G4 habang ang hatchback ay nasa 235 liters. Mas compact at agile para sa city traffic. Now, if it were me, I'd rather choose the hatchback kasi parang pag magkakarga ka ng mahahabang bagay-bagay, pwede mo siyang isalpak sa likod ng hatchback. But again, what we're showing you right now is only the G4. So, shared features ng parehong, for the both body types, for the hatch and for the G4. We have the 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. We have Bluetooth, USB at auxiliary port for the audio, and we have keyless entry at push start button para sa GLS variants. Now, for safety features, we have standards such as dual front airbags, ABS, EBD. I believe EBD is electrical or electric brake distribution. Our editor Julius could put that somewhere on the screen to confirm if I'm wrong. Okay, so brake override system and rise body structure. Ang higher-end variants such as the GLS CVT, GLS Sport CVT ay may dagdag na features tulad ng Electronic Stability Control or ESC, ISOFIX tethers, reverse camera, forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, automatic high beam. So when it comes to the variants and prices, we have a list here. So the GLX MT or manual transmission starts at 769,000 Philippine pesos. The GLX CVT, which means this is an automatic option, starts at 819,000 Philippine pesos, while the GLS CVT starts at 899,000 Philippine pesos, while the GLS Sport CVT starts at 929,000 Philippine pesos. For a better explanation on the differences between the GLX, GLS, GLS Sport CVT, you could go ahead and contact Andy Fajardo. We'll show the details on the screen or his details on the screen. You could call him up and he could explain these things a lot clearer and better than us. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the maintenance costs. So pagdating naman sa maintenance, we did our own research and we have here some results. So may libreng preventive maintenance or PMS service para sa unang 2 taon or the first 25,000 kilometers. Pagkatapos noon, nasa 1,500 to 3,000 Philippine pesos per service ang typical na gastos, depende sa kailangan or depende sa mga kailangan palitan with the car. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, up next we have the Mitsubishi Xforce, which is relatively new to our market. This has been just released for the year or the model year 2025. It's a compact crossover SUV. It's available in 2 variants, GLS and GT. Pareho silang gumagamit ng 1.5-liter DOHC 16-valve inline-4 MyVec engine with the engine code 4A91 na may 105 PS or around 103 horsepower at 141 Newton meters of torque. CVT ang transmission, which means it's automatic, front wheel drive, and it has a 42-liter fuel tank that has a fuel economy of 20.9 kilometers per liter, which is, under Philippine road conditions. Now it has the dimensions of 4,390 millimeters for the length, 1,810 millimeters for the width, and for the height we have 1,660 millimeters, while the wheelbase is 2,650 millimeters. But the one that is most important for me for any SUV is the ground clearance, which is 193 millimeters. Pwede itong sakyan ng 5 pasahero or rather 5 passengers, but comfortably, again, it's just 4. Meron itong 40-20-40 split folding rear seat at 8-step recline function, kaya flexible para sa cargo needs. It has a dual level cargo space para sa mga karagdagang luggage or gamit. Now let's talk about the variants. We have here the GLS variant that starts at 1,367,000 Philippine pesos. It has fabric seats, dual zone automatic climate control with Nano X. Our editor Julius will show what Nano X is on the screen right now. 8-inch digital instrument cluster, 12.3-inch infotainment touch screen, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, wireless to be exact. And for the safety, we have dual airbags, ABS, EBD, brake assist, stability control, traction control, hill start assist, and reverse camera. Now for the next variant or the upper variant is the GT variant that starts at 1,581,000 Philippine pesos. Here are its features: synthetic leather seats with heat guard, wireless smartphone charger, rain sensing wipers, rear parking sensors, more safety tech. We have here forward collision mitigation or FCM, blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert or RCTA, automatic high beam, tire pressure monitoring system, leading car departure notification, 8-speaker Yamaha premium sound system. Hindi yung motor, it's their music company, okay? But it's the same. Warranty is 3 years or 100,000 kilometers for the engine. Wala lang exact na PMS cost info that we got because it's fairly new. But I mean, it's still the same platform as the Xpander, so we have it has the same maintenance cost as an Xpander, and we'll go there later. Alright, so on to the next one. So what we have here is one of Mitsubishi's legendary vehicles that they have introduced back in the early or late 80s, early 90s. The Mitsubishi Strada or the L300. The Mitsubishi 2025 Strada ay nakilala natin bilang L300 ay isang matibay at versatile pickup para sa negosyo or personal use. Now let's talk about its engine performance. All of the variants of the Mitsubishi Strada has the 2.4-liter 4N15 diesel engine that has a variable geometry turbo or VGT at MyVec technology. It has an output of 181 horsepower at 430 Newton meters. May 6-speed manual, which is great, and automatic options. Yung top variant, the GT 4-wheel drive automatic ay may Super Select 4-wheel drive, parang sa Pajero, habang ang GLS 4-wheel drive manual ay may Easy Select 4-wheel drive system. Okay, now let's talk about the dimensions. So, the Mitsubishi Strada has 5,300mm in length, 1,815mm in width, 1,795mm in height, with a 3,000mm wheelbase. Ang ground clearance niya can be up to, by stock or by default, is 220mm. The cargo bed is 1,520 by 1,470 by 475mm. The fuel tank is 75 liters. Now let's talk about its fuel efficiency. So it is said to have 10 kilometers per liter average. That depends on your driving style. 10 kilometers per liter in the city, and then more, of course, pag nasa highway. Now, in its interior or features, we have here, it can fit up to 5 adults, but comfortably, again, it's just 4. Higher variants has leather seats, rear air vents, 7-inch touchscreen with GPS, Bluetooth, and USB. Also with dual zone air conditioning, keyless entry, and more. Now, safety features, which is standard to all variants, we have rise body, dual airbags, ABS with EBD, brake assist, active stability and traction control, hill start assist, and trailer stability assist. Now, additional safety for the GT 4-wheel drive AT, which means automatic, FCM, ultrasonic misacceleration mitigation system, blind spot warning, side curtain, and knee airbags. Now for the prices and variants, let's start with the GL 2-wheel drive manual, which is 1,048,000 Philippine pesos, and we have GLX Plus 2-wheel drive manual, 1,165,000 Philippine pesos, and then next is the GLX Plus 2-wheel drive automatic that comes in at 1,240,000 Philippine pesos. Now let's go and move on to the GLS. The GLS 2-wheel drive manual transmission will have it for 1,225,000 Philippine pesos. GLS 2-wheel drive automatic is at 1,300,000 Philippine pesos, while the GLS 4-wheel drive manual is at 1,445,000 Philippine pesos, and the GT 4-wheel drive automatic is at 1,670,000 Philippine pesos. Before we move on to the next car, I would just like to ask you guys, if you've been enjoying the video so far, please do consider liking and subscribing to our channel. We make a lot of motorcycle and car content, but mostly motorcycle, because we're slowly transitioning to more car content soon. So we're gonna make some price lists, we're gonna make some interesting topics in the future, so please do consider liking and subscribing to our channel. Now moving on to the next one. Up next, we have the Mitsubishi Montero Sport. The 2025 Mitsubishi Montero Sport is a mid-size SUV that has long been known by the Philippines. Alright, so yung mga Pilipino, alam na natin ang Montero. And it's connected with, it's synonymous with prestige, money, and sudden acceleration issues. But we're gonna talk about that later. So, it comes in 4 variants: GLX 2-wheel drive manual, GLS 2-wheel drive automatic, Black Series 2-wheel drive automatic, Black Series 4-wheel drive automatic. Now with the engine, all 4 variants has the same engine, the 2.4 liter 4N15 MyVec turbo diesel that makes 179 kilowatts, and our editor Julius will show that in horsepower somewhere on the screen, and 430 Newton meters of torque. The GLX is manual, 8-speed automatic with paddle shifters sa GLS at Black Series. Yung top Black Series 4-wheel drive AT ay may Super Select 4-wheel drive 2, rear, diff lock, and off-road mode. Now let's talk about fuel efficiency. We have here 10 to 12 kilometers per liter, mixed city and highway driving. It has a 68-liter fuel tank. Now, let's talk about interior and space. It is a legal 7-seater, 60-40 split, second row with tumble, 50-50 fold flat, third row, flexible cargo loading, and we have for safety, dual airbags, ABS with EBD, brake assist, brake override system, and ISOFIX tethers. We have for the higher variant safety features for the GLS and for the Black Series, the FCM, blind spot warning, lane change assist, RCTA UMS multi-around view monitor, which is like a 360 view, adaptive cruise control for the 4-wheel drive variant, hill descent control or HDC. Now let's talk about prices of each variant. So the GLX 2-wheel drive manual is at 1,568,000 Philippine pesos. The GLS two-wheel drive automatic is at 1,899,000 Philippine pesos. And the Black Series two-wheel drive automatic is at 2,162,000 Philippine pesos. While the top creme de la creme Black Series four-wheel drive automatic is at 2.5 million Philippine pesos. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, up next we have the Mitsubishi Xpander or the Xpander Cross. Parehong gamit ng Mitsubishi Xpander and Xpander Cross ang 1.5-liter inline 4-cylinder DOHC MyVic engine that has the engine code 4A91 that has 103 horsepower at 141 Nm of torque. The Xpander has a 5-speed manual or 4-speed automatic transmission option, habang ang Xpander Cross ay may 4-speed automatic lang. Pareho silang front-wheel drive. Now, the fuel economy, ayon sa mga tests sa Philippine road conditions, umaabot ng 22.94, let's say 23 kilometers per liter ang Xpander automatic variant. Medyo mas mababa ang fuel efficiency ng Xpander Cross dahil sa dagdag na timbang at SUV style enhancements. Parehong may 45-liter fuel tank capacity ang dalawang modelo. Now let's talk about seating space. So legally, it can seat 7 seaters, kaya swak para sa mga pamilya or sa mga mag-group travel. There's a very spacious cargo area that you could load almost anything that you would need for a fun road trip. Especially when you fold the rear seats, as in kahit siguro 2-3 cooler pwede dun. The Xpander Cross has a rugged design, but it still is, they have the same utility. Now let's talk about dimensions. For the Xpander, we have 4,595mm in length, 1,750mm in width, and 1,750mm in height. Now, when it comes to the Xpander Cross, we have 1,790mm in width. Mas mataas na konti yung ground clearance, so it is 225mm versus the 205mm of the Xpander. Now, suspension, they both have McPherson strut sa harap and then torsion beam naman sa likod. Now, when it comes to prices and variants, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's start with the Xpander GLX manual transmission. 1,068,000 Philippine pesos. The second one is the Xpander GLX automatic, which is 1,128,000 Philippine pesos. The next one is the Xpander GLS AT, which is 1,216,000 Philippine pesos. And then lastly, the Xpander Cross at 1,328,000 Philippine pesos. Now, here are some key differences between the Xpander and then the Xpander Cross. Mas matabang ang design ng Cross. May roof rails, may body cladding, at mas mataas ang stance. Of course, it has 20mm of advantage over the stock Xpander. Mas premium ang interior ng Cross. May leather seats with heat guard, mas malaking infotainment display and digital instrument cluster. Mas kompleto sa safety features ang Cross. Active yaw control, active stability control, hill start assist, electronic parking brake with auto hold. And the last but not the least, we've already mentioned this car because pinag-usapan din natin yung Xpander. We have the Mitsubishi L300. It is the favorite vehicle of all businesses here in the Philippines. It is reliable, it's bulletproof, and it's just, you bang for the buck, eto na yun. Okay, so let's talk about the engine. It has a 2.2-liter 4N14 Euro 4 compliant turbo diesel that makes a whopping 98 horsepower at 3,500 RPM and also makes 200 Newton meters of torque at 1,000 RPM and with a 5-speed manual transmission. Let's talk about suspension. Front is independent wishbone coil springs, and for the rear we have the semi-elliptic leaf springs. For the fuel efficiency, in city is 10 kilometers per liter, 14 to 15 kilometers in the highway, and it has a 55-liter fuel tank. Alright, so let's talk about capacity. 17 passengers for the FB body, and the max payload is 1,215 kilograms. The gross vehicle weight of 2,345 kilograms. So let's talk about safety. 3-point seat belts for the driver and its passenger up front. Lap belts for the rear. 10-inch disc brakes front, drum brakes rear, and no airbags or advanced tech at all. So let's talk about variants and prices for the 2025 model year. So cabin chassis, 825,000 Philippine pesos. Cabin chassis, wala talaga yung likod. So cab, yung sa harap lang, yung the cabin with the driver and the front passenger, and then blank talaga yung likod. Aluminum van, no AC, is 899,000 Philippine pesos. FB body, no AC, walang aircon, is 936,000 Philippine pesos. Aluminum van, single AC, is 944,000 Philippine pesos. FB body single AC is at 981,000 Philippine pesos, and FB body dual AC, so harap sa cabin and then sa likod, is 998,000 Philippine pesos. Now when it comes to maintenance, PMS is every 5,000 kilometers or 3 months. There is, on some casas, merong free labor for the first 1,000 and then the first 5,000 kilometers. And then sometimes pagkabili mo ng sasakyan, kasama na yung LTO registration, tent seat covers, and then the matting. Now, I highly advise you contact our good friend Andy Fajardo for any details about the pricing and maintenance. Alright, so we'll show his details down on the screen or wherever on the screen. And you guys should give him a call, lalo na kapag magbe-business kayo. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys like the video. So if you do, please do like, share, and comment down below. Ano yung mga Mitsubishi stories nyo? May kwentong sudden acceleration ba kayo? May kwentong L300 ba kayo? Just comment down below and let's talk about it. And also, please do consider subscribing if you liked our content. We're gonna do more of this. So we make car and motorcycle videos. So this could be the start of a new format kasi dati kasi purong English lang kami. So ngayon, Taglish na para mas accessible or rather mas magaang. Kasi mostly naman na nanonood sa akin is Pinoy. There are some people who watches me that are not Filipinos, but then again, I thank them for patronizing me in a way. But then again, it is what it is. I have to adjust for the for the greater good of the channel also. As much as I wanna stay in my original format na nag-English lang ako, it's just better this way. I have to listen to the people. All right, so yeah. Again, I want to thank you guys. I want to thank Andy Fajardo and Mitsubishi Molino branch. So please check them out. Thank you guys for letting us go to your casa and then film your cars. Please do call them. Please do call our good friend Andy to book a test drive and to check out their latest models and promos. All right, so that is it for now, and we'll see you on the next one. Ciao.